Today is Friday, April 23rd, and today we are going to compare and contrast two of the books that we read this week. We have The Enormous Turnip, which we read first, and then we have The Gigantic Turnip that we read yesterday. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch it so that you can see exactly what I'm writing. So I'm going to switch this. That's cool. All right. So if you think back to the first book we read, we had some characters. We had an old man, we had an old woman, we had a little girl, a dog, a cat, and a mouse. Were those characters in both of the stories? No. I want you to think now of yesterday's story. In yesterday's story, we had an old man, a woman, old woman, and many animals, and also there was a cat and a mouse. So let's start with what was the same. I know that we had an old man and woman, and I believe they had a cat. We know the mouse was the last animal that we had. Those were the characters that were the same. What else was the same? I know that both stories, they had a garden. What did they both grow in that garden? Do you remember? Yeah, they grew a big turnip. And the turnip wouldn't move. Was that the same in both books? Yeah, the turnip wouldn't move. The turnip wouldn't move. In both books, did the old man just pull by himself? No, he needed help. Everyone had to help. That was the same in both books. Everyone had to help. Now I want you to think about what was different. So the first thing that we're going to look at is in The Enormous Turnip. We said that the characters were different. Remember, in both books, there was an old man, a woman, a cat, and a mouse. Do you remember what the first book had that the other one didn't? I hope you said a girl and a dog. Now, if you're looking at The Enormous Turnip, the one that we just talked about, we said they had a girl and a dog. Both books had an old man and woman and a cat and a mouse. The Gigantic Turnip had many animals. There was a lot of animals in that book. I'm just going to write many animals. Because if you go back and think, I'm pretty sure they had cows and pot-bellied pigs and speckled hens and white geese and yellow canaries. There was a lot of things going on there. Now I want you to go back to think about the first book. Think about the illustrations. Did the first book have very fancy illustrations? No. I'm going to say that The Enormous Turnip had simple pictures. It was very easy to look at and see what was happening. Now, The Gigantic Turnip was different. I want to say their illustrations were busy. There's a lot going on. I'm going to write busy pictures. I'm going to think about the enormous turnip again. I want you to think of the ending of the book. The endings were a little different. In the enormous turnip, the first one we read, everyone fell over and the book ended. I'm going to write book ended when everybody fell. And the turnip came out. And the turnip came out. The gigantic turnip had a different ending. Do you remember what happened? I want you to think. Good, I hope you were thinking about that character, the mouse. Because if you think about yesterday's book, you'll remember that a little hungry mouse came out and ate most of the turnip stew that they made. So it ended a little differently. The hungry mouse. See, even Mrs. Tattlebaum makes mistakes, and that's okay. The hungry mouse ate turnip stew. And that's how the book ended in that book. So let's take a look at everything that we said. In the enormous turnip, right here, there was a girl and a dog. There were simple pictures. And the book ended when everybody fell out and the turnip came out. In the gigantic turnip, it was different because there were many animals, busy pictures, and it ended with the hungry mouse eating his turnip stew. Then you can look at both books, which were the same because they both had the same characters, the old man and woman, cat and mouse. Both books had a garden. Both books grew a big turnip. In both books, the turnip wouldn't move. And both books, everyone had to help to pull the turnip out. You should see me again. Awesome. So I hope you liked reading those two books, and I hope you were able to think about what was the same and what was different. All right, our writing today is a letter, and it starts out, Dear, and then you have to pick a teacher. And it says, today we need to write a letter to a teacher from school. Tell them about your day and how you've been. So I decided I'm going to write to Mrs. Selig. So I went ahead and I wrote down the beginning part that says, Dear Mrs. Selig. Now, if you don't know how to spell the word dear, it's already for you right in that dark part up here. Dear. And you don't have to write to Mrs. Selig. You can write to me. You can write to Mrs. Walsh. You can write to some of the specials teachers. You can pick any teacher you want. So go ahead and write that first. Dear Mrs. or Mr. if you have a teacher that you're writing to that's a man. And the first part says, tell about your day. So I'm going to first give the sentence that tells how my day is going. I'm going to say, my day is great. My day is great. So we need to count how many words there are. Ready? My day is great. I got 4 words. Oh, let me go back to my paper here. So you're going to write My. We know that from our sight word wall. And you should be getting good at that word, my. Now, because it's a letter, Dear Mrs. Selig doesn't count as part of our sentence. You're going to capitalize the M for my. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. So it says, Dear Mrs. Selig, my day. Day is going to be a sight word. You should also be able to at least put what it starts with. D, 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 A. There's a Y at the end. Dear Mrs. Selig, my day was, it's another sight word, w. Look under your W's for that word, was. I know it's supposed to sound like it should be W-U, but it's a not fair word. That's why it's a sight word. It's spelled W-A-S. Remember, sometimes we have those not fair words that don't follow the rules. That's usually what makes a sight word, because you can't sound that out. Dear Mrs. Selig, my day was great. I need to fill in my last word, great. So I hear a grrr. Ooh, that's two sounds. Grrr. I think I need a G and an R. Grr. A. Grr. A. Hear an A. T. T. Great. I need a T. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a sneaky E because I hear that A, and I know that to make the long A sound, I need a sneaky E. Now that's not how you spell the word great, but that's okay. If you did it and you tried and those are the letters you got, that would be awesome. Dear Mrs. Selig, my day was great. I'm excited about that. So think about how I'm going to end that sentence. Is it an asking sentence? Is it a telling sentence? Or is it an excited yelling sentence? Yeah, I'm excited. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use an exclamation point. My day was great. Dear Mrs. Selig, my day was great. And that's your first sentence. Ooh, we need to do 2 sentences for this. So if you look at my picture, it's not very good, but that's all right. You can see that Mrs. Tattlebaum is running. And I put in some details to help tell my story and some labels. I have Mrs. Tattlebaum labeled, and my tree, and my bush, and flower, and birds, and sun. You can see all of that right there in my picture. But I'm going to write, I went on a run. Ooh, okay, we got to count how many words. I went on a run. 5 words. I think we can do it. See, I have my 5 spaces down there. I went for a run. So I need to start with I. So I need a big capital I. Put that right there. I went. Now it's going to be a sight word. It should be on your word wall. But we can also sound this one out. W, a, n, t. I hear 4 sounds. W, a, n, t. We'll start with the first sound. W, w. W, e, e, when, and t, t, t. Dear Mrs. Selig, my day was great. I went on, it's a sight word, but you should also be able to spell that one too. On. I hear 2 sounds. Ah, O, N. I went on, I need 2 more words, a walk. A. I can write the word A. That's nice and easy. I went on a walk. Ooh, how do I spell walk? W A O K. I went on a walk. Now that's not how you spell the word walk, but if you put those sounds down, that would be awesome. Am I done? I have to put my punctuation in to end my sentence. I went on a walk. Is it an asking sentence, a telling sentence, or an excited sentence? I think it's a telling sentence. I'm telling you what I'm doing. I went on a walk, or what I did already. I wasn't going to write walk, was I? I was going to write run. I went on a... I got mixed up. That happens sometimes. You know what? I'm just going to erase it. And we can write the word run. That's all right. Run. And I'll add my period again. I got mixed up too. That's all right. Dear Mrs. Selig, my day was great. I went on a run. Should be able to get those letters. R-U-N. And that's it for today. I hope you have a great weekend. Bye.